show here on the Cool Channel. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Roger Cunningham. Here on my left, your right, is the head football coach of the Seminole County Indian football team, Mr. Al Ingram. Coach, thanks for being here.
Always glad to be here.
It is, like I said, it always beats the alternative.
Beats that alternative.
Well, I tell you what, Friday night was just one of those nights. It wasn't the prettiest thing in the world to watch, but it came away with a big win, 57-21 over Randolph Clay, a pesky little team.
Yeah, a little bit opposite of the week before. Two guys out, two starters out, our running backs, and we came with the young kids, that hadn't had any varsity experience, and, had a good ball game. But, first half we just didn't block well. Period. On offense, I thought we played good defense. We had two opportunities real early in the ball game, and we, put 13 points on the board. We missed, had an extra point block, but the first two opportunities we had to go down and score, and then we had two other opportunities with getting turnovers down in the red zone, and came away with nothing. And that's very untypical of us, but
they had a serious goal line stand.
Yeah,
especially on that fourth down play, we tried to run it, off tackle a little bit, and I tell you what, they stuffed it.
Yeah, ran a sweep out there one time on 4th and inches, and we usually run right at them, and really probably a bad call on my part, but I felt like we'd get outside. They wanted to stuff everything up inside, and we went outside, and they came off the corner, didn't pay any attention to the pass at all, came off, and we missed a block out there and stopped us about on the 1 yard line.
Mm-hmm. And then, in that same time, I think at that point it was 13-7. We were talking about the one going towards the north side of the field.
That's right.
It was 13-7, and so he rears back and throws one over the middle. The guy is wide open, and he just drops it. I don't know if he was looking at the goal line, didn't look it in or whatever. He'd have probably scored. That was a huge difference in the ball game right there. Huge difference in the game. Because the next play after that, quarterback goes back, he's rushing a bit, rolls out, and he throws the ball where no one is, and they call intentional grounding. He's in the end zone, so that's a safety. So it was really a 9-point swing when you look at it, because they should have had 7 points.
Yeah, part of Class A football. The same two running backs that were out also played defense.
Right.
Our
I was
two
going
secondary
to get to that, yeah.
And so we're playing two guys on defense over there that not a whole lot of experience, and they didn't play real well. Trying to learn how to play, and again, Class A ball, but we just didn't have anybody. I think defensively it looked like we were out there, instead of people playing their assignments and doing what they were supposed to do, they're trying to play the whole ball game, trying to make tackles, getting into the me stuff, instead of team ball. And just to me, it's a horrible first half. We just didn't play very well.
Right, and then after the safety, they've got to kick off from the 20. I think we go down and score, and it makes it 22-7. And then right there towards the end of the first half, they were driving the ball, and the quarterback threw a pretty pass right in the end zone. The guy dropped it.
That's right.
I mean, those two passes right there, those two drop passes right there, made a huge difference in that game, especially for them, because it could have been easily 22-21 or even tied up 22-22 at halftime.
Absolutely. That cannot happen this week. Played Miller County for sure, a real good team. Of course, I told you before, we got in region play. We played a pretty good team. I thought it was Terrell County. We'd go up there and we play really, really good ball like we did at Pelham. And then, had Stewart. Not very good. We just, show up and you beat Stewart. Calhoun gets a little bit better. You have to play, and again, we showed up. Didn't look, we didn't look like the number 2 or number 3 ranked team in the state, or didn't look like we were 5-0 or 6-0 at the time. And then you come after Calhoun is Randolph, again a little bit better, really good athletes. Had a good defensive plan. It took a while to get it figured out. They were just running a 6 up there, played man, bringing 2 linebackers, and had a spy. One of the safeties in the middle of the field playing as a spy, and we just didn't get to him. number 2 for them. You know, had a really,
Oh, yes, he
really
did.
great defensive
He was a warrior.
game.
He was a warrior out
But
there.
you know, really good athlete, a lot of speed, and you know, on both sides of the ball, and you got to get those guys blocked. We didn't do a very good job first half of blocking him at all.
Well, so we go in at halftime. It's 22-7, and you didn't say a whole lot. Normally, I think, well, he's going to go in there and he's just going to go absolutely bonkers on this thing. Which you did have, a few words. Drop pass here, drop pass there, miss block here, miss block there, that kind of thing. And you basically just took the marker, which you normally get on the board and start showing stuff. You just kind of said, the heck with this. Guys, you got a chance of having something a memory that'll last you your lifetime. With this season. And this is how you want to play, kind of thing. And I don't know, but I think they came out with a little bit different attitude. And you even said that kind of surprised you. You even said that instead of getting there on the chalkboard and really going at it. But you said you really didn't say a whole lot to them.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot to say. The game plan was the same. We had the right game plan. We were just not executing. The biggest thing with me was that they were all waiting for somebody else that play their position or whatever. And my thing with them was at halftime that basically they came out to play football. They worked their rear ends off and earned a starting position, basically, and signed a contract to play that position, along with all the responsibility that goes with that position, and they were not upholding their contract.
Well, sometimes, running backs don't always get the ball in every play. They may have to block.
That's right. And yeah, and down the line, running crazy. Everybody's got an assignment. We play lanes or assignments, defensively, and we were all of them were out there just playing to make the tackle, to get the stats or whatever instead of playing their assignments.
Well, the two players, Robert Spate with the ankle injury, and then Devontae, I guess it was Devontae Smith with either shoulder, just wasn't feeling good and didn't feel ready to play or whatever. But you wouldn't miss them so much on offense because we're deep at running back. But defensively, like you said, how did that really affect the game as it went on?
Other kids took over the second half. They knew first half, again, playing tentative. I don't know if our other 9 starters or whatever was trying to play those other 2 positions along with their position, things like that. But
trying to cover for them a little bit.
Yeah, we just come back the second half and basically everybody played their assignment, and pick it up a little bit, hustle a little bit more, and things will take care of itself.
But what was good, what I thought Friday night was kind of Javon Wiggins' coming out party.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a spectacular night, had some spectacular runs. I mean, he'd be running and literally would just stop and then be going another direction near about full speed after the first step. Some incredible cuts. Had 11 rushes for 147 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. Javon, again, he's not a starter, and there's a reason for him not being a starter. If you go back and look on films, he had some great runs, but most of it was second half. First half, he was hitting the hole real slow. Mm-hmm. We were not maintaining blocks when we made the blocks. We were hitting, rah-rah hits it so hard. A lot of times we've gotten away with stuff where we'll go on and we'll kind of skim block somebody and then slide to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And that was the other big thing was get on your man, stay on your man. And then jump on him a little bit, Javon, by hitting the hole a little bit harder and running the right route. And he comes back the second half and he does that. He hit it harder, and the timing was a whole lot better. But then he was able, by everybody making the proper block and maintaining the block, then it allowed Javon to use some of his athletic ability to run.
She's got some.
The same runs the first half, if Ra-Ra's in there and he's running in the second half blocks, Ra-Ra again probably Javon wound up almost 150 yards rushing, I think.
Yeah, 147.
Robert Spates probably would have had 250 yards rushing. Going back looking at them, and that's not taking anything away from Javon.
He doesn't have as much experience.
He does not have the experience. That's right.
And also, Mr. Steady in there, Brendan Kimball, seems like you can put him anywhere, and he just plays.
Yeah,
You know, and I'm sorry, he had 14 attempts for 79 yards, 2 touchdowns on his part, and I thought he did a pretty good job playing fullback.
Yeah, Brandon's one of those guys you have to stay on Brandon too, you know, and he's got all kind of ability. He could play at the next level if he gets his mind right, you know, and puts forth a little bit more effort. Brandon stays on the field. He's our defensive captain, which is a quarterback. On defense, he made some bad calls, called alignments, you know, against certain formations and all. Bad, you know, made some bad calls on that, and Brandon takes some plays off if you let him. So you have to stay on Brandon. He's a kid.
Yeah, he is. Smart kid, though.
Yeah, he does a good job most of the time. Again, it wasn't one of his best games.
And then one of the shining moments of the night, I thought, was when I think we did the halfback option pass to Tyler Peters. It hadn't shown that in about 3 or 4 games, so maybe Randolph Clay hadn't seen it or whatever. But Tyler got the ball; he was wide open. I didn't know he was that fast.
Yeah,
I mean, he went right down that sideline, and nobody was going to catch him.
White boys can't run.
Well, you should have heard what I said on the game when y'all tune in and watch it. I said, "White men can run."
Yeah, you can. What happened on that thing was the series that we talked about before down on the goal line. You know, the first half, we ran the sweep down there, and the corner came off real quick. And I said, well, it was the next time we touched the ball. I said, well, if he's going to come off on 4th and goal, he'll come off out in the middle of the field.
Right, sure.
And so we just ran the same play right back at him, and ran the sweep over there to him, let him come off the corner, and it was a run pass option type thing. Got it to the tailback, and he's left-handed, so we ran it back to the left, which worked out great to that side, and let him come off, and we went out there, stop blocked him, and let the guy beat. You know, Tyler just goes out there and blocks him and lets him beat him, and then he just turns around and starts jogging up the field and flip it over his head. You know, little basketball passes, I would call it, and then turn it on, and it worked out perfect for him.
And he did turn it on. And Tyler's a fun kid to watch play football. He hustles every game. 321 yards rushing in the game, 97 passing, total of 418. Not a bad night on the yardage.
Yeah. Again, you know, I don't know how much of it was first half. I don't have it broke down, but most of that was second half stuff. We probably had 120, 30 yards rushing the first half. Didn't do a whole lot. But we're going to have to pick it up, you know, this week, and then again the following week and the next week. So they just get better and better as you go now. And that's what I told them when we played Stewart's. If you need a breather, you better get it now, because Calhoun's coming in, going to be better than Stewart. Randolph's going to be better than Calhoun. And then Miller's going to be better than Randolph, and Mitchell will be better than that. But, you know, with the Miller game, you throw it all away.
Right, you throw it away. We'll talk about that in the second segment. But, you know, like you said, in the Terrell game, we really put 2 good halves of football together.
Yeah, we played 2.
What do we have to do to get back to that? Because really, you know, Stewart, not counting that game, but against Calhoun and Randolph, we really hadn't played 2 good halves of football in the same game.
Yeah, it's all mental. It's a mental game. Get your mind on the ball game, and you know, get focused on what you're doing. And, we can talk all we want to. You throw a film up and you start working on somebody. You know, kids are not idiots. You know, they look at the stuff and they know, you know, the intensity that they have to play with. If I have to try to get them fired up this week, then there's something wrong with them.
Well, when I came in, you said be a few minutes before we can start. I'm going to do some film study here with the defense. Is that something that you do? You know, you do a lot of film study with the players, or what? Are you constrained by time or whatever? I mean, how much film study you do with the players versus how much you do on the practice field out there?
Some of all of it. Some teams we don't. You know, the Stewart game we just put it on the board, tell them what we got, tell them everything's on Huddle now, which is a computer program that we put all the games on there for them, and you know, we can let whoever we want to look at it. So all of our kids have access to it. You know, have their PIN number that they put in the thing. You know,
so they can do it at home if they want.
They can look at it at home if they have a computer available or an iPad, or some of them watch it on their phone. they got a smartphone, they can do that. But other than that, a lot of days you don't sit because we do it before practice on some days, you know, at 3 o'clock or 3:30 as soon as we get out here, and then get on the field a little bit late. Today we went straight to the field and was going over it on the field, and we had 2 or 3 adjustments we needed to make, so I just stopped it a little bit early. I thought we probably took offensive period a little bit later today than normal, but when we got the defensive period, instead of doing it on the field, we just came in and put it on the board and stayed a little bit longer than we should have. But you know, these kids got homework to do and all that kind of stuff.
Supposed to anyway.
Yeah, they're supposed to be doing homework, but we stayed a little bit later than normal. But we'll be doing quite a bit of film work this week. Sure.
Before we take a break, you said it's a mental thing, you know, to put the 2 halves together. So what did you tell them today? I mean, how did you drive that home with them, you know, today in your talks?
Today is kind of going back over mistakes now that we made from last game and trying to get focused on, you know, Miller County now. But most of it today was just going back over the mistakes and things from the Randolph game, and really have not sat down and talked to them as a team yet, trying to get the you know, the mental aspect in. That will be tomorrow. Before we start practice tomorrow, we'll have a team meeting and you know, try to drive that home.
What do you think you'll say to them that you can say on camera?
Oh, it's just, you know, I'm not going to get them fired up. You know, you got to learn. Miller County makes a lot of it. They've got a lot of motion, a lot of formations, and a lot of different things. If you don't learn what you're supposed to do, then they can hurt you. You know, beat you. Offensively, I think we can move the ball. I think we can move the ball on anybody. You know, offensively, defensively, we just have to play our assignments instead of playing yard ball or whatever you want to call it. So that's where I'll be, you know, trying to focus there. The next thing is the sportsmanship of the ball game. Miller County don't have anything to lose.
Right.
You know, Coach Killingsworth keep those guys under control. You know, cheap shots and things like that, and hopefully you'll, you know, the next thing is to keep our kids focused on the ball game, or instead of trying to win one for grandma or aunt.
Well, they need to keep the boys, you know, they don't need to let those guys suck them into doing something that's going to cost you a big penalty or even an injection or something.
Yeah, and that's and Coach Killingsworth, that's his job to take care of his guys. It's my job to take care of my guys, and you know, we've got other goals. You know, one of our goals is always to beat Miller County.
Sure.
Next goal is to, you know, win the region. And go from there, but you know, to win the region, then Miller County is one of the stepping stones.
That's exactly right.
And so that's, but it's a big rivalry. It's a lot of times it's heated now, but kids have to, you know, keep composure. And again, you know, this is a game of character, and that's one of the biggest things that you know, we're always trying to teach our kids to have character, be humble, play with class.
Right. Well, I mean, depending on what happens Friday night, you know, say we lose to Miller, then the game against Mitchell is for the region championship. Either way, it's going to be, you know, that way, and unless Mitchell were to lose, you know. But because they've lost one region game, if they don't lose another one before we play them the following Friday after Miller, then that game, regardless of what happens against Miller, will be for the region championship.
Yeah, we have to beat Mitchell. We have to beat Mitchell, but we you know, we have to beat Miller now.
Yeah, you got to beat them first.
We'll worry about Mitchell next week.
Well, we'll talk more about Miller in just a second. We're going to take a break. Stay tuned, everybody. You're watching the Coach Ingram Show here on the Cool Channels. Welcome back to the Coach Ingram Show. Roger Cunningham, Coach Ingram here. I have to make a correction that I found out during the break. Mitchell has not lost a region game this year, and so both teams could go into this thing undefeated in the region, depending on what happens Friday night. But irregardless of what happens Friday night, Mitchell's the region championship game, you know, for all intents and purposes. All right, Miller County, Friday night, up in Colquitt, 8 o'clock kickoff up there in Colquitt. Family feud, backyard brawl, whatever you want to call it. It's a huge game, probably one of the biggest, at least biggest Class A rivalry here in Southwest Georgia, no doubt.
Yeah, I always call it family feud, because so many ties back and forth across, other than my
You got so many cousins
Yeah,
against cousins
that's
and
right.
this and that. Oh yeah.
Grandparents live up there, the parents live here or whatever, vice versa. But border war is what some of them try to call it. I call it family feud. No matter what it is, it's going to be a big ball game. I think it's one of the biggest heated rivalries in the state, and you can throw everything out, all the stats and
All the records.
all that stuff out the door, out the window, whatever, and get ready to, buckle up your chin straps and get ready to rock and get
To
rocked.
play ball, because
You got
it wouldn't
rock.
make any difference if we were 8-0 and they were 0-8, or they were 8-0 we were 0-8. It wouldn't make any difference in that game.
No, and if it's anytime it's a one-sided affair, one way or the other, then that's just happens. It doesn't have anything to do with the records. I can promise you that it will be a close, hard-fought ball game.
And I hope we only hear that doggone cannon one time, and that's at the beginning of the ball game or whatever. They always blow that thing off, I think, and I hope that's the only time we hear
Well,
that
if you
thing.
get talking too much, Rodney will probably blast that thing several times just because you don't want it.
Because I don't want it to be blasted.
There you
I was
go.
walking across the field one time, and he blasted that thing. I about hit the clouds up there. I jumped so much out.
I've seen people die for cover and everything else, but it is something that if you're not used to, it will shake you for sure.
Well, and you've got ties to both schools. I mean, you coached at Miller County for many, many years. Still have many, many friends up there. Coach Killingsworth
The
is
3 kids that graduated from up there.
Yeah, I mean, and Coach Killingsworth is one of your good friends, coaching buddy, and everything. And you and I were talking off camera before we started the show that Frank was also the principal and everything. Well, he's not doing any of that this year. He's just coaching football. And it seems to me like you said that they're a little bit more focused on things and a little bit more disciplined up there, and have a pretty good little football team.
He's done an excellent job sitting looking at the film, and I'm telling you, probably the best coaching job in the region. And I'm sure the Miller County folks, because of their record, everybody wants to win, and a lot of times you just don't have the people, and that's not taking anything away from them because they may beat us Friday night. You never know till you get on the field, but their record is not the best it could be. But I'm telling you, from what he has, the athletes that he has done an excellent job, probably the best job in the region. They give you a lot of trouble, a lot of trouble with, we play man, and a lot of things that they do is if we don't get our adjustments, to their formations and their movements, if we don't get all that stuff down, then we're going to be in some trouble. But he does a really good job of calling plays, and always has. But it seems like to me that he's done a better job coaching. I don't know if it was a fact, and just me thinking here or me talking. I don't know if it's the fact that he was principal and coach, and I know there's a lot of responsibilities there now. That principal job he doesn't have. He's back in the classroom, and he's focused more on coaching. But he is, I don't know if that's what it is or not, but he's done a really good job.
Well, tell us a little bit about their team, offensively, defensively. What are you going to see out of them?
Speed. Just like you hear me talking about that quite often, speed kills. There's no question about it. He's got a number 2 and a number 11 that can go as quarterback, throws bullets. He's an excellent quarterback, and got guys that they won't drop the ball like Randolph did. He's got good receivers in there, big old tight end. His offensive line is well coached and does an excellent job. Jason Houston is got out of coaching, and I guess Nate's doing the offensive line coaching now. Nate George, but he's they look good and they're doing a good job defensively. A 4-4, 6-2, whatever you want to call it. They probably play us man, and they're doing a good job. He's normally a cover 3 guy, but I've seen a lot of man this year, and as little as we throw the ball, he probably will play us man. But they do a good job defensively. Special teams are strong. You have to watch. They're going to, you give them a chance, they're going to field the ball on punts and return the thing, and they do a good job of kicking extra points and do a good job of punting. And they're going to onside kick it every time.
Really?
Yeah.
Every single
I
time?
don't know the reason that it's because of his kick coverage or what. He felt like they wasn't covering real well, but he's going to put the ball down and they're going to onside kick it. I guess, you know, if you recover, you're going to start somewhere around your 45, or if you're lucky and recovered it to 50, but somewhere in there. But you have to be on your toes all the time because he'll onside kick it every time. But a well-coached football team, got some, got some skilled guys that can hurt you. Defensively, may not be the quickest team you've seen. You know, defensively, but we will always be looking for somebody that we think we can beat, you know, at some point. So whether it's a running game or throwing the ball or whatever, but you know, we don't never go into a ball game with much of an offensive plan, and we just kind of play into it. This past Friday night, we probably played into it too much. but there was a lot of things. You know, we were handicapped this past Friday night. Jumping back to that thing, you know, with what we could do.
Well, how are those players doing, by the way? Just stay on that for just a second.
Robert's ankle is much better. I don't know. I hadn't decided whether he'll play tonight. We taped it today and wrapped it and got him out there a little bit, but not going to have him cut on it and do a whole lot. And do practice today. You know, Javante practiced, and he had a little bit of discomfort with the pull muscle, but you know, we'll just see how he does during the week. Got Jalen Pearson back, you know, had a torn ACL,
right.
Had surgery and all that stuff. And
he played a little bit this past Friday night.
No, we didn't play him this past Friday night. We didn't dress him out. Practiced a little bit, but he's back. He's tied in.
I just thought I saw a guy out there with a knee brace on.
That was helping him. But you know, was our starting inside linebacker next, you know, last year, and we'll see what the week brings with him.
Well, and a lot of times, even though maybe all the way healed or pretty close, you know, in your mind, you're like, you know, as the player, it's like, you know, am I one cut away from doing this again?
Yeah,
you
well,
know, you just got you got to get comfortable and know that you can take a hit and you can fall down on it and everything. Absolutely. And all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, but you know, doctors, they're not going to turn him loose until he's ready to play, and they have released him, so you know, he'll be ready.
Miller County run versus pass. What is their ratio? And do they pass it very well?
Throws the ball well. That's what I was saying earlier. They throw the waggle over and over and over again. You know, inside the wing tee. Instead, they got 4 receivers flooding the zone, and they throw it extremely well. The quarterback throws bullets. I mean, you throw a laser out there, and you know, not a whole lot of arch on the ball, but he throws it well. He's you know, 3-year starter, and you know, they throw the waggle extremely well. But percentage-wise, Frank likes to throw the ball. He wants to run it, but he likes to throw it, so he's going to get 30-40% passing in the ball game.
Well, we're just going to pound and grind them and see what they do. You know, like you always do. You know, you're going to see what they give you and exploit it. And we hope for a big win this coming Friday night. We need it big time.
That's right.
Friday night, 8 o'clock in Colquitt. If you can't get up for this game, you can't get up for any game, can you?
No. ECI. Do you see the score on Johnson County?
No,
ECI?
I did not.
Johnson County and ECI, 65 to 20 something maybe. Johnson County scored 65 points on ECI. So that means they're for real.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a huge game over there. I think that's Region 2.
That's right.
Single A. And that was a big game over there because ECI is normally the powerhouse. That region year in and year out, it seems like them and Clinton. Anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in. Another good show. Miller County, Friday night, 8 o'clock in Colquitt. We want to see you there. All the green you can wear. Bring all the noise. Bring all the horns. Bring all the gallon jugs with the rocks in them, and whatever you can bring to make some noise to cheer on the boys. We always take a big pride up there. So until next time, everybody, you've been watching the Coach Ingram Show. I'm Roger Cunningham. Good night.